What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Today's videos I'll be talking about job hunting or unemployment in this case. Sorry for the noise in the background. I live next to a credit area and I got the fan on. I also got a new camera. Anyways, I'm on Forbes, right? I opened up a bunch of tabs searching for something like this because I wanted to make a video. So basically, right here is talking about ghost jobs, and right here it says 1 in 3 job postings never result in a hire, according to the My Perfect Resume analysis of Bureau of Labor Statistics. Rated data. In June 2025, employers reported 7.4 million openings, but only made 5.2 million hires. That's more than 2.2 million ghost jobs that wasted countless hours of your time. You might be thinking it's not that much, but think about it. If you were a person and you submit it through online applications, right, and you apply to like 100 jobs, right, and let's say unluckily, right, not luckily, bad luck, you actually went in and like 50% of those jobs out of the hundreds that you applied to were ghost jobs, or 75%, then yeah, you're pretty much screwed up. So let's say out of like, what are the chances of you literally just going in and trying to get a job and the places you actually applied to, are really bad. One of these examples is literally I would say Indeed, right? I've never used LinkedIn. I've heard bad stuff about LinkedIn as well, but Indeed, bro. Indeed is full of scammers. I tried it once, and basically what they do is, for the majority of the time, they don't actually end up taking you to the main page. It's just like a third party, like you could say, way of like giving your resume. Because if you wanted to give your resume, you would, instead of creating an Indeed account and submitting your resume and whatnot, what you will be doing is literally just going to the job or the company's website in this case and finding the job. And at that place, you will create the account. You will answer all the questions they ask you there and put your resume and other information that they ask, or maybe other things that they require, like video. Now, nowadays, I remember Chick-fil-A just said like, oh, you gotta submit a video of you doing a presentation, which I thought was kind of weird, because I'm like, if I'm doing it online, why not just give my resume, call me, and then do an interview with me? And I'm like, it feels like already you're doing like these steps that are like already part of the interview, which is submitting a video, which I think is kind of crazy. Because let's say you don't want to be judged by how you look, or how you speak beforehand. You want to be judged that if you're getting an interview, obviously, because that says a lot about you. But you don't want to be judged beforehand, so people could say like, yeah, let's rule them out or something like that. Some people are like that. Some bosses are like that. They shouldn't be, but you could say it's kind of discrimination, or kind of like judging, which is not good. Discrimination is not good. It's against the law. You can actually get really like I would say fire, or you can get into legal trouble. If you discriminate someone in their workplace. Anyways, continuing over here, those jobs are a permanent fixture. For more than a decade after the Great Recession, job postings and actual hires stayed closely aligned. Then in 2021, I would say with 2021 was like the year where things kind of settled down with the pandemic, where things started to like opening again, right? Job openings spiked above 11 million, while hires hovered at 6 to 7 million. The phantom gap rose sharply to 38% as employers advertised nearly 4 million more positions that they were actually filing or filling. Although hiring was cold since then, the gap has been normalized. Has never been normalized. The ghost job rate has remained between 28% and 32% for years. This isn't a temporary distortion. It has become a structural feature of the job market. Basically, it has become something kind of like, normal at this point, even though it's not good. You can call it like a meta of a game. That's basically it. And nowadays, you could say it's kind of changing with the AI, because back in the day, I think they did have like some sort of programs where they scan the documents, like the resumes that people hand in on person, and they would look up for certain words. I remember some administrators told me, yeah, we look up for certain words on the resume. So if you're doing a resume for like a specific area, let's say not McDonald's, but let's say like a store brand, right? Retail working, or not even retail working. Let's call it food work, right? Food truck, stuff like that. Restaurants and stuff like that. They might be looking for, okay, we're looking for someone who knows how to cook, and you can just say like, oh, my expertise, or my habits, or my good features is that I know how to cook. I know how to cook and this and that, and that might get you a little bit more highlighted if you're looking for a specific area. But let's say you're trying to like just find a part time or a general job. Like a general job would be like you working at a supermarket or like a warehouse or anything like that. You don't really need something specific to work in those places, because they don't require uh, a college degree or anything like that, which I think is kind of stupid if some of those places hire you based off of that, because you worked your ass for a college degree. So anyways, uh, those places, at least for me in my experience, I have tried to apply for like Walmart, and I never get a response. I've also tried McDonald's, and surprisingly enough, McDonald's is kind of fucking weird, because I've gone to Reddit to see if people have gone through the same things, and some people have gone through the same things on, I think, each country, which is kind of stupid. Like, I remember one time I applied to Burger King, bro, to Burger King, and on Burger King, I literally went in and I gave the resume to the manager in turn. I think it was the manager or the assistant manager, or the supervisor, one of those three ones. But I remember giving it to them, because in these places you have different type of managers. You got the regional manager, you got the supervisor, and you got the manager, or you got like, oh, got two managers, one for manager for this, and the other manager is like the general manager or whatever. So anyways, I gave it to one of the managers, and they're like, oh, okay, fill out this application, and we'll see, we'll call you if you meet with the requirements. And I'm like, okay. I never got a call from them, but I did know that I didn't know, obviously, but my mom talked with my grandma, and my grandma knew the mother of one of the managers, and she said, oh, give me your resume, I'll give it to her, and I'll tell her to literally call you. And without like a week or anything like that, like in 5 days or 4, they call me and they say, "Oh, you're Eric. Yeah, pass by to give your to sign the contract. To sign the contract, bro." They didn't even do a interview, which I think is a requirement, right? For everybody to be treated equally, you gotta interview them and see if they fit the role. They didn't even do an interview for me. They were like, "Well, you gotta just sign the papers, and that's about it." And I thought like, what the hell, like they didn't want me, and now they gonna hire me because my grandma knows the mother of one of the managers, which I think is crazy. It feels like nowadays, you need to know like the big boss in order to get like signed in or hired, which I think is kind of crazy. And I know it helps. It's like a cheat code. It's like an advantage to you. It helps, but I also feel like it's kind of unjust, because there are other people searching for the job market, and they don't get hired because you're not friends with the boss, or you don't know someone who knows the boss directly, which I think is kind of stupid. And it was over here, we got industries where ghost jobs hide. In June 2025, the website, the Bureau data reveals dramatic differences in the percentage of ghost jobs across the industry. So one of these places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we got 6. Basically, it's the government roles. There are about 60% of jobs, ghost jobs, where they hide Education and health services 50%, information 48%, finance 44%, leisure and hospitality 2%, construction 44%. I mean, it's not 44%, it's negative 44%. If I'm correctly, if that's not a misclick right there, but I'm guessing it's negative 44%. It has more hires than openings. Yeah. So basically, companies do this. Why do companies do this? It says the U.S. labor market looks deceptively strong on paper. Millions of openings suggest opportunity, but many are illusions. You know. So this is true. I remember going to JCPenney's website, and I literally just filed in and submitted my resume online, and I went to the store, and I said, "Yo, I submitted my resume for the position of security," and the woman told me, "Oh, that position has already been taken," and I'm like, "Oh, then why is it on your job, your pages, website?" And she said, "Oh, well, we'll need to fix that. It's because they haven't cleaned it." And I'm not kidding you. I submitted that in 2025, and the date said 2016. So they haven't even cleaned it since 2016, which I think is really just insane at this point. And I thought to myself, like, maybe it's rotating. Maybe, I don't know. And over here it says, the companies keep ghost jobs active for several reasons: to build candidate pipelines for roles that might open later, to signal growth during hiring freezes, to leave approved positions stuck into limbo due to budget cuts, to satisfy internal posting requirements, or HR quotas. HR quotas, human resources quotas. Now, this is kind of important, It keeps going, but I want to switch to this one over here. I think it was this one. This is the IRS, right? This is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. This is very important. Now, some jobs, they get tax breaks, with hiring. Now, I don't know if, I guess the companies, they post those jobs to get the tax break. I don't know if it's like that, or if it's based on, like, let's do more job openings, and the more we hire, the more tax breaks we get. I don't know if it's based on how many people they have hired, or how many times they have posted not posted, like how many times they have received resume for job descriptions that were available, quote unquote, ghost jobs. So anyways, what this is basically is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Is a federal tax credit available to employers for hiring and employing individuals from certain targeted groups who have faced significant barriers to employment. So basically, like, I have no idea if this is like people like immigrants, or people, I guess, who have been discriminated or anything like that. I don't know if that applies to that. How does this even work? I'm guessing it has to be some other things in it. Anyways, they joins other workforce programs that incentivize workplace diversity and facilitate access to good jobs for American workers. The Consolidated Appropriations Act 2021, Section 113 of Division EPL 116-260 authorized the extension of the WATC until December 31st of 2025. So it already ended, basically that's about it. But I don't know if they have another thing, but this is pretty much from last year, at least it says right there. We'll have to see how it keeps going. Alright, so I also had this other website, and basically it has it's the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this is a graph right here. It's the Beveridge curve, job opening rate versus unemployment rate, seasonally adjusted. So you can pretty much see this. It gets updated here and there. So you can see right here, like, let's start right here, 2005. Let me just in 2005, job opening rates were like 3.0 and unemployment rate was 5.2. And let's move to like 10 years. 2015, kind of basically the same, job opening rates 3.8, unemployment rate 5.1. And then let's move to 2025, right here in November 2025. Kind of a little bit more close this time, not too far off. Job opening rates 4.3% and unemployment rate 4.6%. Obviously, we don't have the 2026 because, well, yeah, but pretty sure this updates like maybe every 3 months or something like that. But yeah, it's mostly been like that. Like, unemployment has always kind of been right here. Surprisingly, on 2021, on April, we had 6.1 for both job openings and unemployment rate. Surprisingly enough, before that, I would say job opening rates were much more higher, and I'm guessing this was due to like when things started to stabilize after COVID and whatnot, or they were kind of reopening back in the days, and people were quitting their jobs because of the lockdown. So yeah, maybe this was, or maybe people were like looking for that. Let me see if I find 2019. 2019, 2020, yeah, 2020 around here. See, in 2020, the unemployment rate was 6.9, 7.8. Yeah, I think the highest it has been was on May 2020, where the job opening rate was like 4%, and the unemployment rate was 13.2%, which is, I think, the highest it has been, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I think this is due to COVID at that point, because, like I said, I think COVID started on the late 2019, around there, or I think maybe the beginning. It started on 2019, but yeah, we can clearly see, the unemployment was crazy at that point, and then after that, 2021, like at the end, literally on like December, that's where the job openings started to like have more openings, and the unemployment started to have less unemployment people, and then it's just kind of like went back a little bit more on 2025, which is like the unemployment is kind of like with the job opening rates. Sometimes the job opening rates are higher, sometimes the unemployment rates are higher than the job opening rates on 2025, but still, from also from personal experience, well, at Reddit, they have said that some people do get jobs. I personally have known people who quit their jobs and they go to another job and they find them like that. I've also noticed people that say, no, I haven't found jobs. I had a friend who he applied, I think, to like 5 months or 6 months straight for jobs. And so personally, he got one that he actually studied for, right? He got the degree, the bachelor's degree. But one thing that kind of sucks about it is minimum wage. Like, that's the thing that sucks about it, because I think if you study for something, you should start at least with like $2 more than minimum wage, even if you don't have expertise or something like that. Because I mean, like, hey man, you're studying for something, you're working for something that you studied, and it took years, like 4 years or maybe 5. So for that, that's my monitor. Anyways, yeah, that's this Euro page. We also got the same one here. It's got different things. It's got data series, back data, and basically it shows the unemployment rate for 2025. It shows the months and the year. So over here you can see like unemployment rate on December of last year was 4.4, Change in payroll was 50. Average of the hour earnings was 37.02. Consumer price index was 0.3. Producer price index 0.5, and the U.S. price index doesn't say anything, but for the other ones it does say. You can also click on here and just view the graph. It will take you. You can view the graph. This is a little bit more technical. I don't know much about this. The other one you can kind of see it, but it's also kind of technical. It's basically numbers, so I don't know how to explain it that much because I don't understand it completely. But if you know about this, or you would like to emphasize more on this and just read it yourself, you can do it, on your own time. But yeah, that's about it. That's the tax credit thing, and it's just saying the same things, Unemployment is on a rising, and yeah, that's about it for the video. Thanks for watching. I'll leave the links in the description below so you can read them at your time and see more about it. I don't know what else to say because honestly, I just did this video. I don't know. This is my first time doing a video like this. Anyways, make sure you comment whatever you thought about this. Anyways, bye bye.